Good morning. Get up. It's game day. This is Fourth Quarter Lights. Thank you for tuning in, doing a preview and prediction video for the Georgia-Florida game. Georgia-Florida in Jacksonville, 3:30 kickoff on CBS. Stetson Bennett is once again your starting quarterback. This was announced yesterday morning that Stetson Bennett was going to indeed get the start over JT Daniels. And, earlier in the season, I would have been, even, 3 or 4 games ago, I would have been really upset about the fact that Stetson Bennett is starting over JT Daniels. But I understand the decision right now, to be honest with you. It is hard to take the ball out of Stetson Bennett's hands because he hasn't done anything wrong. Now, I'm not saying that he's some phenomenal quarterback that's going to throw for 350 yards and 5 touchdowns and he's going to rush for 100 yards, but he's doing everything that he needs to do as a quarterback, and he's not turning the ball over, which is something that he had trouble with last year. Now, have there been times where he probably should have been picked off and the ball was tipped or dropped or whatever, to where he could have 6 or 7 interceptions right now? Absolutely. But guess what? That's not the case. He only has 2 interceptions on the year, same as JT. So he's taking care of the ball. He's throwing, he's putting up 250 yards. And I mean, what more do you want? He has that dynamic. He can run. He can move. He'll run, and get you a first down. He'll get out of pressure. He'll flush the pocket. I mean, he brings a different dynamic to this team. And again, I'm not saying he's the better quarterback, but you just can't take the ball out of Stetson Bennett's hands right now. JT, it sounds like he's healthy. And JT is going to play in this game. I don't know what kind of rotation that it's going to be. I could see Kirby doing his normal thing where Stetson gets 2 or 3 drives and then JT comes in and he gets a drive to see how he does and play that game. I could also see Kirby just letting Stetson roll until he struggles. And at that point, if Stetson Bennett does struggle and JT comes in and JT doesn't struggle, that's it. And I'm telling you right now that will be the end of the Stetson Bennett era. Because if he struggles and JT comes in and the offense is clicking and everything else, they're not going to mess with this again as long as JT Daniels is healthy. I'm not sure I'm not sure that that's going to happen. I have no idea. I'm not a fortune teller. I can't see into the future. But I would not be surprised to see that happen today. I would not be surprised to see Georgia down in this game, 14-10 at halftime, and then JT Daniels has to come in the second half in order for UGA to win this game. Would not surprise me a bit. Wouldn't surprise me if this was a blowout for UGA. We never see JT Daniels, and Stetson Bennett plays the entire game. It's the only scenario that I don't see happening in this game is that Florida wins in a blowout. Would not be shocked if Florida pulled off the upset. Would not be shocked if Georgia blew Florida out by 3 or 4 touchdowns. And I would not be shocked if this was a 1-possession Georgia win, winning by 3, winning by 7, whatever. None of those scenarios would shock me. I do not see a scenario where Georgia gets blown out by double digits just because of how good the defense is. With that said, Anthony Richardson is a freak. The guy is a absolute freak. He's not a great quarterback. He's got a huge arm, he's got a live arm, but he doesn't have it up here. He doesn't have it between the ears yet, because he doesn't have that experience. But the guy is an absolute freak athlete. And he is going to cause trouble for this Georgia defense. And it's going to be something that we haven't seen all year. I am telling you right now, this is Georgia's toughest game of the season. Throw out Florida's record. Throw out what Florida did, 2 weeks ago against LSU. Throw out the fact that they're 4-3. I mean, none of that matters. Florida has a good offense. And whether that's Emory Jones or Anthony Richardson, it doesn't matter. They have a good offense. They have a good running game. And that's not going, that's not going anywhere. I think that this is the game where Georgia gives up the most points. We have not given up more than 13 points in any game this season. I think that ends today. I think Florida does have some success getting into the end zone against Georgia. And I'm worried. I am really worried about Anthony Richardson. Now, if they came into this game and we knew that Anthony Richardson wasn't playing, or that Emory Jones was going to be the starter and Richardson was just going to come in an emergency or something like that, I wouldn't be worried. But the fact that Anthony Richardson is likely going to start and you're going to see him the majority of the game, that has me concerned. The guy's a freak. So we're going to see, and because Florida's record, they're 4-3, they're not in contention for anything at this point in the season. They're not contending for the East. They know that they're not going to the SEC championship game. And to be honest with you, I mean, at this point, they're out of contention for a New Year's Six bowl or even a decent bowl game. So they're going to be struggling, especially if Georgia wins this game and Florida's sitting at 4-4. They're going to be struggling just to make a bowl game at that point. But it doesn't matter. It's Georgia, Florida. It's Dan Mullen. We are going to see every trick that Dan Mullen has in his bag and up his sleeve. We are going to see fake punts. We're going to see onside kicks. We're going to see trick plays with a wide receiver or a running back, throwing the ball to a quarterback. There's going to be wheel routes. There's going to be screens. Florida and Dan Mullen, they are going to do everything that they possibly can to spoil Georgia's season. This is their Super Bowl. This is it. After this game, they have nothing to play for. Their entire season hinges upon this game. They don't care if they go 8-4 as long as they beat Georgia. That was proven last year. That's all we've heard all offseason. They don't care that they went 8-4. They beat UGA. And that's all they care about. This is their Super Bowl. We have higher aspirations than that. And so we can't let Dan Mullen, pull out these trick plays and get in his bag and have success. I know that it's coming. And it worries me with Anthony Richardson at quarterback. And it worries me a little bit with Stetson Bennett at quarterback. Again, I trust the guy. He hasn't been turning the ball over. He's a great game manager. But if we get into a position where we are behind and we have to throw the ball 40 to 50 times to win, that's not Stetson Bennett. It's not going to happen. At that point, JT Daniels is going to have to come into the game. And you just hope that he's prepared and in rhythm and healthy enough to be able to get us back into the game if that is the case. I've been going back and forth all week on this game. I really have. I wasn't worried about this game, during the bye week. And then when I heard that Anthony Richardson was likely going to be the starter, I kind of took a step back. And then earlier this week, I was like, yeah, but our defense is just so good. And we've just been steamrolling everybody, and it just doesn't matter because this year feels different. We're going to win in a blowout. And now towards the end of the week, it's like, man, I just don't know. I've never flip-flopped back and forth so much on this, on any game this season as much as I have with this one. And it's so hard to predict a final score. What my hope is, and what I think happens, is that this is a close game for 2 or 3 quarters. I think that this is a one-possession game at halftime, whether that's Florida leading or Georgia leading. And I think that this game comes down to the fourth quarter and the depth that Georgia has and the talent that Georgia has on defense just essentially wearing down on Florida. And Georgia has a massive fourth quarter and ends up pulling away in this game and making it look like a blowout. I think that this game could be 24-17 heading into the fourth quarter, 20-14, something, again, a one possession game heading into the fourth quarter. But I do think Georgia ends up rolling over the Gators in the fourth quarter, not only winning, but also covering that 14.5-point spread. Give me the Dogs, 38, Florida, 17. World's largest outdoor cocktail party getting ready to kick off here in about 3 hours. Go Dogs. We'll see you soon. Take care.